Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Monday, October 27, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, security forces evacuate from Norwood as Hurricane Melissa nears. With the arrival of Hurricane Melissa imminent, it seems that the members of the security forces in Norwood and St. James have taken the precaution of moving some of their infrastructure. A look at the site that now occupies a playfield in the community as part of security efforts is now sparsely populated with a few buildings left. The buildings removed were mostly tents that were being used to house the staffing as part of the zones of special operations in the space. It's uncertain where they have been relocated, but a base in the vicinity of the airport would be the preferred destination. Hurricane force winds to begin tonight as Melissa moves over Jamaica. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says catastrophic and life-threatening hurricane force wind conditions are expected to begin impacting Jamaica Monday night and continue into early Tuesday. Noting that the tropical storm conditions are now occurring in the country, the center said that within the eye wall, total structural failure is likely, especially in higher elevation areas where wind speeds are top and on the windward sides of hills and the mountains could be up to 30% stronger. In its latest bulletin, the National Hurricane Center noted that the center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 16.4 north and the longitude 78.2 west as it continues moving toward the west at 3 miles per hour. It said a slow turn toward the northwest and north is expected later Monday, followed by a turn toward the northeast and a faster forward speed on Tuesday. A northeastward motion is expected on Wednesday and Thursday. On the forecast track, the core of Melissa is expected to move over Jamaica Monday night and early Tuesday, across southeastern Cuba Tuesday night, and across the southeastern Bahamas on Wednesday. Maximum sustained winds are near 165 miles per hour or 270 kilometers per hour with higher gust. Hurricane Melissa is a Category 5 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Some fluctuations in the intensity are likely before Melissa makes a landfall on Jamaica on Tuesday, the National Hurricane Center said. Some 50,000 JPS customers without electricity. Approximately 51,439 customers of the Jamaica Public Service Company island-wide were without electricity up to Monday morning due to the passage of Hurricane Melissa. This update was given by Minister of Energy and Telecommunications Darrell Vaz during a press conference on Monday. At 9 a.m. this morning, there were 51,439 customers without electricity, broken down as follows: 33,633 customers in the west, 65% of the outages, 13,009 in central, it's 25%, and 4,797 in the east, 10%. Outages are increasing with deteriorating weather and with each outage affecting on average 50 to 100 customers, Vaz said. He said the major cause of outages reported are trees and lines due to the high soil saturation levels. The minister said approximately 550 people have been pre-positioned and are responding to outages as the weather conditions permit. He urged the affected customers to report outages via the JPS app and the social media platform. Vaz said he has also received reports of power outages in the corporate area, and we have not had any level of rain or wind. So I did have some terse words this morning with the JPS because I told them that if that is what is going to be the norm, in terms of 12 hours to respond, it's not going to happen. It's unacceptable, the minister said. He added that the power supply company has reported that there are no major incidents currently on its electricity grid, but said the system is beginning to experience the effect of heightened wind and rainfall extending across the island. There were areas in Portland and St. Thomas that had outages, but crews were unable to respond immediately because of unsafe weather conditions. These are being addressed along with other reported outages across the island, Vaz said. 180 residents evacuated from Rocky Point and the Portland Cottage in Clarendon amid Hurricane Melissa. Some 180 residents from Rocky Point and the Portland Cottage in Clarendon have already been evacuated to storm shelters, says a counselor for the Rocky Point Division, Winston Maraj. Both communities are among 6 listed as highly vulnerable under the Disaster Risk Management Act. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Sunday ordered the immediate evacuation of several at-risk communities across Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa, now a Category 5 system, bears down on the island with life-threatening rain and winds. When asked about residents' response to the evacuation order, Maraj told the news that some residents were initially reluctant to leave their homes, but worsening conditions have forced many to act. The sea has started to come into Portland Cottage, so people are now taking this hurricane very seriously. We just moved 3 bus loads to their technical high, and we're still getting people out, Maraj said. He noted that anxiety in the communities is running high, especially as many residents are still rebuilding from the destruction caused by Hurricane Beryl last year. Everybody is worried. The people who were left in Portland Cottage have relocated to higher areas, while those in Rocky Point have moved to 2-story houses, he added. Last week, Othniel Reed, president of the Portland Cottage Citizens Association, had raised concerns about the state of the Jackson Bay Beach in Portland Cottage. He explained that sand from the beach had been washed into swamps, worsening flooding risk. Reed warned that if conditions continue to deteriorate, the sea could soon breach the main road, cutting off access to parts of the community. 500 truckloads of silt removed from Sandy Gully, says Morgan. Works Minister Robert Morgan says 500 truckloads of silt have been removed from Sandy Gully in the corporate area over the last few days in preparation for a direct hit from Hurricane Melissa. He said the emergency mitigation work comes ahead of a planned desilting program for next year. The most important thing that we are trying to do is protect the lives and the property of the people who live adjacent to the bridge near Seaview Gardens and the bridge that is on Spanish Town Road, which is a very critical bridge that connects to the ports, he said. We've removed 500 loads of silt from under the bridge over the last 5 days, and some persons are saying, well, we should clean all the way to the sea. That is 1.5 kilometers from the bridge to the sea, and it is 37 meters wide. If that section we cleaned was 500 truckloads of silt, think about how many trucks, excavators, backhoes, and the front-end loaders would be required to remove 1.5 kilometers of silt, a couple thousand trucks, he noted. Sandy Gully serves as the largest component of the corporate area's gully system, spanning approximately 6 miles or 10 kilometers from the foothills of eastern St. Andrew and flowing westward through several urban communities, including Seaview Gardens, Waterhouse, and Riverton City, before emptying into Kingston Harbor via Hunts Bay. We have done as much as the engineers have said we can do at this time to create a pathway under the bridge so that water can flow. Based on what we have done, the bridge is safer, the flow is no longer compromised, said Morgan. He said that while much work has been done to mitigate the impact of the impending hurricane on infrastructure, residents are being urged not to engage with a compromised infrastructure. If the bridge looks shaky, do not attempt to go on the bridge or across the bridge. Do not try to traverse gullies that are flooded. We have historical evidence of persons in very powerful vehicles seeking to traverse gullies, and they lost the competition. So we're advising the public that this is a serious hurricane. Our gullies cannot be used while they are flooded, he cautioned. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.